Chapter 4 starts off with the blast of what seems like the destruction of Torna. Anyways, we return to our heroes at the grave of Van Damme, where they're all sad and stuff. I thought this guy was going to last the whole game. It's okay though, because he's apparently in the third Xenoblade game. But not really. Pyra finally awakens and the group wants answers about the power of the Aegis. So Mythra decides to take over, but she yells at Rex for pretty much being an idiot. I agree, Mythra. Rex is the worst. They head back to an empty theater where Pyra explains everything. She reveals that Malos is also an Aegis and was awakened by a man who went to Elysium. This man climbed the world tree and found it empty, except for 2 core crystals. Pyra can only surmise that this man awakened Malos for either power, greed, or something else. When Malos awoke, he went on a rampage destroying everything in his path. It wasn't until a driver named Adam who awakened Mythra in order to stop Malos. Thus, the Aegis War began. Mythra was able to defeat Malos. However, 3 titans fell in the battle. Mythra won, but feeling guilty about the destruction, she sealed herself away to ensure that her power would never be unleashed again. She also took the form of Pyra and decided to take a long nap. Gramps goes on to explain how Adam hid Pyra's body inside a great ship, the same one Rex would find earlier in the game. As they're about to leave, Cole hands a weapon to Rex. Gramps reveals that Cole's real name is Minoth. Cole is actually a blade fused with human cells, known as flesh eaters. Why they decided to call them that, I'll never know. He's an experiment gone wrong, so I'm not gonna ask any questions. Moving on, the group is deciding the best way to get to the next destination. They return to the Argentum Trade Guild to rest. Rex wakes up to find Mythra in the same bed as him. He's pretty much a deer staring right into headlights at this point. Mythra wakes up and has a huge fit until she realizes she was sleepwalking again. Not before throwing a lot of crap at Rex. I just noticed how poor Tora was hit on the head as well. I don't blame Rex. This game makes it really hard.
Pervert.
Aw, look at Jomark with his little nightcap. Morag reports to Emperor Niall, who she considers as a brother, about the Aegis and Rex. Niall's blade Aegeon tells Morag about the shipment of core crystals that were destroyed. Morag blames herself because she let Nia escape, but Niall says not to fret about it, and informs her that the Senate had continued the excavation of Elysium. This is most likely due to the shipments being destroyed by Torna. Niall seems like a cool dude. I hope he never dies. After this, nothing really happens other than a quest resonating with Rock, which seems more like a side quest. Anyways, glad to have you back, Rock. The gang finally make it to the Empire of Mor Ardain. Trouble. Tora runs into Mui Mui, an old assistant of his grandpappy. The remainder of this chapter is basically Tora's arc. Mui Mui sends them to a hot springs where the ladies take advantage. Trouble, I see. Now's the part of the game I had to make sure that my door was locked, or else my mom would ask questions like, what the heck are those things? I was surprised to see Poppy in the water, but then she explained why and I was like, oh. Then Mythra came and I was like, whoa. Actually, nothing really happens here other than Nia telling Mythra that she has a nice bod.
Nice bod you've got there. Thanks.
Also, apparently Nia has a secret that Mythra promises to keep quiet. The group hears some loud noises and we find some soldiers shooting up this mysterious figure, which actually turns out to be an artificial blade named Lila. Trouble again, I see. Tora goes on to explain how Lila was the artificial blade Tora's Dadapon and Grappipon were making. Lila is injured and decides to retreat. After the fight, Tora tells the tale of how him, his Dadapon, and Grappipon decided to make artificial blades since none of them could resonate with core crystals. What a bunch of schmucks. However, on one fateful night they were attacked and Grappipon was clearly shot by Mui Mui wearing a mask. I mean, come on, he's wearing the same thing he wore that night. Tora remembers that Lila was not complete at the time of the attack and surmises his father must still be alive if Lila is now complete. As soon as they decide to look for his Dadapon, Morag appears. Unfortunately, it seems they think Poppy was the cause of the earlier attacks, so they end up fighting again. Luckily, the Nopon I kept saying was Trouble is actually a good guy. He helps clear Poppy's name. Morag apologizes and offers to travel with him in order to find the true attackers. She mentions to Rex there's an abandoned factory where a certain Nopon merchant may be hiding. Rex guesses that it must be Bana. The group heads to the factory, but on the way there they run into Zeke and his blade again. The conversation pretty much goes the same way as before, except...
Did I what? You've got a lot of nerve, you one-eyed monster.
Nia, you do know one-eyed monster usually means...
Huh? Means what?
It's, Mythra, why are you blushing?
Shut up.
I like how Nia is the innocent one here and Mythra is aware of the meaning. Anyways, instead of a cliff collapsing, Zeke is almost crushed by a huge boulder, which ends up knocking them out cartoonishly far. We now see that Mui Mui is treacherous. It's through his conversation with Bana that we learn they are working on creating ether furnaces to sell to Torna. Mui Mui was under the impression they would go to Roderick from the Imperial Senate, but Bana is going where the cash is. The gang enters the abandoned factory and finally find Tora's Dadapon, being forced to help with the production. They're able to finally save him from the clutches of Bana's forces. They attempt to escape but are met by Mui Mui, that treacherous son of a Mui Mui fails to capture them, but Bana comes to his aid with Lila. Bana is confused about some stuff, so hence another battle. In the end, Poppy ends up winning. Just as Poppy is about to destroy her, Tora's Dadapon steps in to save Lila, explaining that he wants her alive because it's the only reminder of his Dadapon, Susu. Bana loses control of her and everything ends in a very dramatic manner.
I'm very proud of you, sister. Poppy.
Bana becomes enraged and he and Mui Mui make a hilarious yet epic escape. They get on board a gigantic artificial blade named Rosa for one more showdown. Rosa proves to be too strong for the group. Luckily, Poppy arrives just in time with a new power.
That man, no matter how much power she has, she's still no match for mighty creation of Bana. Crush her, Rosa!
With Poppy's new move, they're able to finally defeat Bana. However, he's able to escape again. The group follows them only to be intercepted by Patroka and Mikhail, whatever. The other drivers from Torna. They intend on killing Nia and capturing the Aegis. A new battle begins. Mor joins the fight, however, to help the gang and work on a plan to defeat them. The plan ends up working and Mix and Patroka's blades are destroyed. In a last-ditch effort, Patroka looks like she's waiting for an ultra attack, but is stopped by Hayes, who is hiding behind some boxes apparently, waiting to make her move. Patroka and Mick decide to flee and jump onto the Monoceros that somehow kept quiet the whole time. The chapter ends with Jen looking at some girl named Laura trapped in ice. Anyways, that's how the chapter ends. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.